Hi guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with my 32-week pregnancy update. So if you're new to my channel, my name is Lindsay and my husband and I are expecting our first baby, which is a girl, on September the 23rd, and I am originally from Canada, but I now live in Italy. So I have been documenting my pregnancy journey on YouTube, and I would love if you subscribed and want to follow along too. So this week was kind of crazy near the end. I am now 33 weeks and 2 days. So I'm filming this like a bit late, this update, 2 days late. However, this particular week, so basically from the end of week 32, which was like Monday, until now, which is Friday, it's just been an insane week. I don't know, I have some crazy long list of to-do things on it, and I haven't been able to sit down until now on Friday afternoon at 4:30. I've just had outings every single day and the house was a disaster. My husband helped clean. It's just been kind of crazy. So I'm gonna update you guys on how week 32 went, and then I'll show you the baby bump. I mean, really, I don't think that 2 days is going to have made a difference, really, but just for transparency, that actually, like, I'm a couple days into 33 weeks, so I just got a bit behind. Anyway, so some of these things for the first couple days, anyway, you might remember from my previous update, so I'm just going to go over them super briefly, just because that week I had filmed it a day late too. And so basically the last Wednesday was 32 weeks and 0 days, right? So turned over to a new week that day. And that day I was feeling like annoyed and ill. If you remember from my last update, that was the day that I had the migraine. That was just, it had been coming on since the day before, and it was in my, like, back of my neck, and it made me throw up that morning, just from the intensity of it all, which has never happened to me before, so that was not really a great milestone to hit, but it did happen. And I had, like, vivid dreams that night, which I believe I mentioned in the last update. So if you want to check out anything here, I'm not going to repeat everything again, because if you saw it already, then you know, but you can go into the cards. I'll link it also down below, but there should be a link up here. And disrupted sleep, obviously, for that night and the next night because of my migraine. Obviously, at this point in pregnancy, I have been having disrupted sleep for a long time now, but those 2 nights, it was really, really due to my terrible pounding in my head. Basically, on Thursday, I had woken up and I still had it left over, but that was the day I filmed last week's update, and I was feeling better. It went away through the course of the day, luckily, so I didn't need to take any medicine beyond about 2 in the morning that day, when I had woken up like, whoa, my head felt like it was going to explode. So basically, overall for the week, I would say kind of feelings were kind of, I was relaxed because it was very hot, so I was trying to just chill out. And some days I was happy, some days I was kind of irritated, depending on, well, how hot it was, especially too. Just last week was, it was extremely hot. So basically a lot of sweating that week. It was just crazy. And I do kind of wonder if that migraine was kind of caused by that heat. I don't I don't know, sometimes, like, because a lot of the time I'll wake up with that, and that day it had started to come on, like, in the afternoon. Could be. It would make a lot of sense. Just such high humidity and just such extreme heat. It was, like, mid to high 30 degrees weather. And, like, I don't even know the percentage of humidity, but it was too high. So basically all that week I had spent like in the pool that we got, the kiddie pool. And so that was where I was going, just feeling relaxed. And I was feeling a bit stressed that week too, because my car had broken down. We had to like replace what was it? I think my husband told me it wasn't la bobina, was not the bobbin, but it's like the ignition coil, I believe. So learned that. And we had to replace my brake pads and also my windshield wiper on the back window. So I was feeling a bit stressed about that. There were a few days this week where I was really noticing, like 3 days in a row, I had written basically the Thursday, Friday, and Saturday that baby girl was kicking me quite a bit in the cervix. I did have acid reflux come back a bit for a few days this week as well. Nothing crazy. I didn't need too much, like Malox, whatever that stuff is that you kind of drink to solve it, the antacid, but I would have like one just because the Tums wasn't really doing it. So luckily a few days of that and then it went away. I was a bit gassy this week, of course, going with the frequent urination, which is completely like a way of life by now. And I think I figured out that these cramps that I've been talking about for the last few weeks are actually Braxton Hicks, because on my Ovia app, there was someone had posted a question about like what Braxton Hicks feel like, and someone had said that they felt for her like cramps with her first baby, and I think the second baby she had more of like the stomach tightening. And so when I read that, I went, okay, so that must be it, because I've been kind of noticing that in the last few weeks of my updates, but I was really, really unsure. And I'm thinking now that yes, okay, that's Braxton Hicks. So I did note those just a couple days this week. One of the noted days actually was on the Sunday, but I'll get to Sunday in a minute. And I did just have 1 day of diarrhea. It was for 32 weeks and 2 days. It was very, very hot still, so could easily have been caused also that by the heat. Then on 32 weeks and 4 days, I actually started to be feeling tired. And since then, I've been tired. Like, honestly, so 32 weeks and 4 days was Sunday for me. So I can say that honestly, every day since Sunday, now heading into the week 33, I have been really tired. So obviously, I'm not going to really get into how this week is going so far because it's a 32-week update. But yeah, I'm feeling that like third trimester fatigue that I always have heard about. So on that day on Sunday, we actually went out to, I think we went out to the Leroy Merlin again, actually. And we had to take back the lights that I mentioned we bought in last week's update because they turned out to look like a morgue, basically. They were too dull in the hallway. Way too dull, and we had put the maximum like wattage, I think, that you could in them, so like there was no way they were going to get brighter. So we had to return there, but actually that morning, So first we went to IKEA and then we went to Leroy Merlin, basically, because we had tried to buy the PAX wardrobe like a couple weeks ago, and they had said, oh yes, I can't remember if I mentioned this in a previous update or not, but before we put the order through, like, let's just check, oh no, they're not available. So you can go home and try and order from your house to see if from there the location that's closer to you like delivers, and maybe they have the PAX wardrobe. And so we said, oh, okay, yeah, sure, that's fine. So we had gone home and tried to order it, and my husband came up to me and said they don't have pieces they don't have the PAX wardrobe. And so that was unfortunate. It said that you can't order online and you have to go to your nearest store. Okay. So I think I probably did mention this in the previous update, but basically this was why we had gone back on the Sunday to try and order it at our, local IKEA. And that day they said, oh no, you can't order it because there aren't any, like, at all in stock. And in fact, there won't be until like late August. And they wouldn't even let us order it. Like, I don't understand what the sense is. Like, why don't you at least let the people order it, and then you have us on like a waiting list while you make the PAX wardrobes, because I guess the virus had everyone on like a run on PAX wardrobes. And yeah, basically there's no way to buy it. So when they had told us a couple weeks ago when we'd gone down, they said, oh yeah, the PAX wardrobe should be there at the end of August. Well, now that's not going to happen. We're going to have possibly the baby, a newborn baby, at the same time as a PAX wardrobe to build, which is not ideal. That would have been, this stuff, like trying to fix up the den and trying to do that, and just some other kind of house projects like put up curtains. We don't have any curtains on most of our windows. This all would have been done back in March if it hadn't been when the virus hit and everything shut down. So here we are at, 7 weeks until the baby arrives, still with this stuff to do. What you gonna do? You can't do anything. So we walked around, we're like, okay, they'll come back at the end of the month. But we're like, is it possible to find out, just so we don't keep having to go down here, like if there actually is the PAX wardrobe? And they're like, oh yeah, like you can book an online appointment with an employee from home and ask if it's available, and then you can come down and order it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, just make it possible to order online, even if it's not in stock. Like, I'm sure eventually it will be in stock. So that day we did that, and then had replaced the lights at the Leroy Merlin. We got like what are they? Where they give you like the rain, I guess a kind of rain check, but not really. It's like, holy cow, that word is not. Basically, where you can use it later on, like until early February, go back and go, yes, okay, I've got this money already from something I took back and you can use it. And that word is not coming to me right now. Anyway, that morning and that day, actually, I had felt like, well, it felt like light period cramps, actually. A good 3 times for sure, if not 4, but like for sure 3 times that day. And they lasted for a bit. Like it wasn't anything that I would time. I would just feel like, I don't know, let's say for 10 minutes. I'm just tossing that number out here, but that I would feel like that. And it was funny because I hadn't actually felt like like previously when I'd said that I had cramps, like, yeah, I had cramps, but like that morning they were feeling like light period cramps, and I was like, gosh, that's weird. I haven't had that sensation in a long time. And I guess those were Braxton Hicks. So and it was interesting because I was like up on my feet a lot that day, and whereas like the previous week I had said that like I had been relaxing a lot and I'd had not so many issues with that like pelvic burning pain and all that. And then that day I went out and like I had these Braxton Hicks, and it was something curious, like also, and then we went out for lunch and like I got them again. And anyway, it was just odd. Actually, it was really neat to go out for lunch because, well, we hadn't done it, and it was just a sense of like a normal summer, right? Because like, well, really, it hasn't been a normal summer because of the virus, and it was just really nice to be like eating out on the patio, and we had a space away from basically everyone, so it was perfect. And they had like some plants growing up, even though it was kind of in a main area, and it was just really nice. Then on Monday, I had written that I was like hungry. You know, of course I eat more than I used to, but like certain days I always feel like, you know, I might be like more hungry. So that was one. And that day I felt like motivated, and I did notice that like there were a few days like after I would eat breakfast, I would be nauseous, like, and I mean a normal breakfast, but also sometimes after lunch, like I was having issues eating lunch. And I would be like so incredibly full after eating like cereal and yogurt. And then, you know, around 11:30, I'd be like, oh, okay, time for a snack. Now I'm hungry. But that was something. I was a bit nauseous in the morning for a few days. And also that day I had done some errands in the morning, and I got home and I took off my sandals that I've been wearing like all summer, and I had like a swollen foot, my right foot, and I could like literally see the strap like imprinted on my foot. And it was curious too, because the last few days, like I'd had noticed that especially my right foot, for whatever reason, was like swelling, but I wasn't like, it wasn't something I would look down and be like convinced. I was like, oh, it looks a bit swollen. That day I looked down and I was like, whoa, that's swollen. And then the last day of this week was on Tuesday. So that day really was cool because it was my husband's birthday, and we had the 3rd trimester ultrasound, and he was finally able to come. So that's just wonderful. So yeah, basically 3rd trimester, I mean, it's hard to actually understand what you're looking at that point. It really is. So we were able to see, but like, you know, you don't really know what you're looking at. However, it was cool anyways that he was able to like hear her heartbeat and everything. And then he said, and they tried to do the 3D view, but like she had like the placenta in front of her, and like her feet and her umbilical cord, and you couldn't really see much of anything, honestly. You could like kind of see like her eyelids, but there was like a lot of interference kind of in front, so no luck there. But it was neat anyways. And then they did say that she is still breached, so, and like kind of in like a C position, it sounds like they said something, if I stand up, that like her, so this is my left side, her like torso, at least on Tuesday, was like here. I'm going to assume that it still is. And then like her head, and then like her feet, but like her feet were kind of like over her face, so she's kind of like squished up like with the feet like here, and then but like kind of like doing the splits too, like with one leg that like needs to bend, he said, and to make space to move. So basically the doctor, he said, I'll get one of the other doctors to show you some moves to do and some exercises so you can try to get her to have enough space to move. So they've got me crawling around the house when I feel her awake 2 or 3 times a day. And we have a hardwood floor. That is not comfortable. Like, my knees are sore. And like caressing in like this kind of motion, right? And then like shining a flashlight, like, so she thinks that there's something interesting down, so she can go heads down. That's basically what they've got me doing. We'll see if there's anything else. If you have heard of any other tips or tricks about how to get baby to move head down, feel free to put them in the comments. And yeah, they gave me they booked my next appointment. The could be last, could be the second last, I don't know, but one of the last appointments. Because they actually kind of just do the one at like 36 weeks, and then if you go into labor between 36 or 37 weeks, and if you go into labor between then and like 40 weeks, then they don't see you again. But if you go to 40 weeks, they book you in like every second day. And so they did say, you know, I've got like, still got time. They basically said if at the next appointment she's still head down, so we'll do another sonogram, ultrasound. They'll do another ultrasound, and if she's still head down, they're going to have to book me for a C-section. But then they said even then, like, what we'll do on the day that you come in for your C-section is we'll do another ultrasound, so you would come prepared. But if she ends up having turned, then we would just send you home and you would just wait to go into labor on your own. So there is still time. However, I keep listening to like the percentages of babies that, like, at the point that I am now, it's like 7% that are not head down. So the percentages are always going down. So hopefully she decides to go down. Anyway, you know what? I mean, I will try to get her to move, but in the end it's up to her. So there's not really much I can do if I'm going to have to end up getting a C-section, besides all these other things that they say are not scientifically proven, but hey, could help. So, and then the last note this week was just actually started to get like random people commenting on my baby bump, which was fun. Like, you know, the grocery store clerk, or now I don't quite remember who, but for example, people that I don't know that are like, oh, what a nice belly. So it's fun. Okay, so I'll just show the belly now. Okay, first of all, as I said, my husband turned 37 this week, so we've got the bon compleanno sign, which means happy birthday. So here is the belly shot. So, and this is not a shirt. This is not maternity. But it's a stretchy shirt, so it is very stretchy. Here we go. I've been constantly wearing like dresses recently, but look how prominent the linea nigra has gotten. It's pretty crazy. And yeah, my husband says I've got this little like peretto, like a little pear here. Yeah, there we go. Alright, well, thank you for watching today's update. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure your bell notifications are turned on. Press like if you enjoyed this video. It really helps my channel. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!